All right. What's up, everyone? Just give me a few moments while I finish setting everything up for the stream. Let me see. Let me see here. Top 10. How's everyone doing today on this lovely Sunday? Well, now it's afternoon. Sunday afternoon. How y'all doing? Let me know in the chat how y'all morning and afternoon going. Hey, what's up, Elite Legends? How you doing? I'm going to be talking about my favorite movies this year in a little bit. Uh, just give me a few more seconds, and then I'll get started giving my top 10 movies. And I have a few honorable mentions as well, so definitely stay tuned for that one. All right, cool. Here we go. All right, so everyone's here. How you doing, Zachro? What's up, Angie? Thank you for joining. All right, everyone. How's everyone's doing today? It's Caligo45. I'm finally doing my top 5 movies, not top 5, top 10 movies of 2019. So thank you for everyone that's joining. Um, so real quick, just a short, just a short story of just how every movie came out this year. So I feel like every movie that came out this year was really good. In my opinion, this has been a great year of movies. So I have a list of the movies I saw this year. So I would say I have like at least 15, 15 films that I've seen this year, and they were all great. But like I said, I had to dwindle it down to top 10. So it was pretty easy actually making this list, cause I've seen some of them at least twice this year. But some of them I only had to see once, and I already know where it is on my list. But let's let me get started real quick. So I'm going to real quick mention my honorable mentions to you guys, and then we're gonna go down to my top tens. So real quick, let me see here. Let me get rid of this real quick. So my honorable mentions real quick are not in order. So here we go. So my first movie of the honorable mentions list will be Detective Pikachu. I felt like Detective Pikachu was a pretty good film. I did enjoy it all around, but I felt like the story was kind of lacking in some places, but It was really fun. Like Ryan Reynolds as Detective Pikachu is a good choice. At first, I didn't want to believe it, and I was kind of on the fence of this is a bad choice just because he we seen him before in other movies like Deadpool, the XMen movies, and I just wanted someone new to be Pikachu. But I ain't gonna lie, this was a good choice. So, what's his name? Justin. I think it's Justin Smith. He was good in the movie. He was funny. He was charismatic. I thought he was a pretty cool guy. And all the Pokemon they in the movie they looked so great. Like the CGI was absolutely amazing. Um, yeah, and I know the Sonic the Hedgehog movie probably learned from this movie. I think it was by the same developers. You said it was Justice Smith. All right. Oh, thank you, Elite Legends. Thank you. But yeah, um, the CGI it was really great. I was really impressed with it. Mewtwo in the movie, he looked awesome. I really thought that what other Pokemons that appeared in the movie? Bulbasaur, uh, all the new gen Pokemons showed up. Greninja. I don't know. It's a lot of Pokemon that showed up in this movie that looked really impressive. But yeah, I thought Detective Pikachu was pretty good. Yeah, Charizard. That's right. Yeah, Charizard's my favorite Pokemon. So we're going to move on to the next honorable mentions movie, and that is Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, I thought was, I thought was a good movie. Um, I did like Brie Larson's performance. Her performance was really good, but I felt like the story was kind of lacking in a lot of places. I'm a huge fan of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The Marvel Cinematic Universe is really great. I've been watching Marvel films since 2008, since the first Iron Man movie. And shut the hell up. But no, um, this was one of the weakest Marvel movies that came out this decade, and especially this year. But cause with Ant-Man, the Ant-Man series, I personally don't like the Ant-Man series, and I will put Captain Marvel with the Ant-Man franchise. But yeah, Brie Larson, she's a great actor. Don't get me wrong, I love her. She did great in the movie, but I felt like the writers and the directors could have done a better job with the storytelling. But anyway, let's move on to the next honorable mentions movie, and that is Midsummer. I'm gonna say this. Probably about 90 or 100% of you guys don't even know what Midsummer is. Midsummer is a horror flick. It's by Ari Aster. It's very experimental, and I came across this film one day because at work one of my friends recommended we go see a movie, and oh, I'm glad you know the movie Elite Legends. Thank you so much. I'm glad I'm not the only one that know about this movie. But back to the story. My friends recommended we go see a movie, and they mentioned Midsummer. So I asked them, "What type of movie is this?" They said it's a horror flick. I was like, "Oh shit, sign me up." When we go and see it, cause I'm a huge horror fan. Horror and action is one of my two favorite genres, and I was really excited when he first mentioned um it was a horror flick. But this movie was, oh man, there was a lot of shit happening in this movie that I feel like people will find very grotesque. But I personally liked it. It didn't bother me at all. I did cringe, but it wasn't to a point where I was like, I don't want to see this at all. I actually enjoyed the scenes where it was very graphic, but it had meaning behind it. But basically, if y'all don't know what Midsummer is, it's just about a story where this girl, she's having relationship problems with her boyfriend, and she ends up going to uh, this country with her boyfriend because the boyfriend was trying to hang out with with his best friends. So they ended up going on this little small adventure, and a lot of shit started happening at this little town, and shit was going down. Shit was definitely going down in this movie. But yeah, Midsummer. If y'all don't know this, you should check it out. It's a really good experimental horror film. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next honorable mentions movie, and that is John Wick, Chapter 3, Parabellum. So I ended up watching, well, binge watching. Exactly. See, Elite Legends. Yeah, a lot of shit they went down, but I ended up binge watching the first two John Wick movies before seeing this film, and surprisingly, I like this. I love the John Wick series, cause I've been hearing all this stupid memes about John Wick doing like causing all these mayhems just because these thugs killed his dog, and I'm like, that's the dumbest shit ever. But when you actually watch the first John Wick movie and see how everything went down, you start to believe and start being on John Wick's side, and you want him to prosper. But I saw this movie when it first came out. I think it was the beginning of summer. But this movie was really good. I really felt like John Thick meets Neo from the Matrix. You called him John Thick. What the fuck? But no, seriously, I thought this movie was really good. The colors, the soundtrack, the action scenes is amazing. I really like this movie. Um, but let me move on to my next honorable mentions. I have like two more, and then we're gonna go down to the top 10 list. So my next movie will be Ma. Now Ma is one of those horror thriller films by Blumhouse Productions. I like these type of movies because they're very grounded, and it doesn't really take much to make these type of films, but they're really good. But I love I love the psychological movie. I can't remember this actress name though. Oh, hold on, let me look her name up real quick. Give me a second, guys. But her name is Octavia Spencer. That's her name. Um, she creeped me out in this movie. Imagine you meet this stranger where you met them in the middle of nowhere, and they give you some odd vibes, but at the same time they're really friendly, and you kind of ended up hanging out with them. That's basically what Ma is. It's I really thought it was just gonna be kind of like a really water tone horror movie, but there's actually a backstory behind this movie, and I really thought it was really good. So if you're a big fan of psychological thrillers, then yeah, definitely check out Ma. So we're gonna go to my last honorable mention, and that is Happy Death Day to You. So to anybody that hasn't seen Happy Death Day, it's Groundhog Day, but a horror version of Groundhog Day. And it's just about this girl who ends up repeating her birthday every single time she gets killed by this killer. And she has to figure out who's behind that mask. And so with the sequel, I was really excited because I really love Happy Death Day. And this sequel, I ended up seeing it, and it left me kind of disappointed because it really felt too cartoonish. I think I didn't really like that approach for this movie. It was very cartoonish, but there were some aspects that I did like. Obviously, the main actor in the movie, but because they went in and mentioned like parallel universes. What else did they mention? Like time, like more information about time, where it just started being all over the place. Fuck Happy Death Day. Nah, bro. You got this movie is really awesome. The first movie is, but this one was kind of all over the place. But but yeah, Happy Death Day to You wasn't that great. But anyway, that those are my honorable mentions. So let me go ahead and set everything up real quick for my top 10, and then I'll get started with that. So give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Uh, all right. So let me see here. All right, so here we go. So number 10 on my list is 1 sec. Let me do the transition real quick. All right, here we go. Number 10 movie of 2019 is Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Star Wars Episode 9: The Rise of Skywalker. Um I did a review on this movie last week, and I mentioned that this movie had really bad pacing issues towards the beginning. But I love the new trilogy. Like my favorite Star Wars film is The Last Jedi. That is, in my opinion, that movie, The Last Jedi, is the best Star Wars film. And so going into the Rise of Skywalker, I was going into it with the low expectations, and I don't know, it took me a while just to breathe because the pacing was kind of bad. But once you get to the the second half of the film, it started to slow down, and the movie finally realized what to do. So, um, Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver, they once again had a great performance. They were the selling point for this film. And also, a lot of people I noticed they don't like the ending to The Rise of Skywalker. I like the way it ended. I'm not going to spoil this movie for anyone who hasn't seen it or that wants to go see it. But let's just say the ending left off on a great conclusion, and this movie had a few plot twists. And this I had one great plot twist that I did not expect, which I'm really happy for. But one thing this movie did that The Force Awakens did as well is that it didn't really have a lot of plot twists like The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, it kept me on the edge of my seat. But this movie, I kind of knew what I was getting myself into, and some things other than the major plot twist was not a surprise to me. You know what I mean? But mainly because of the pacing, this movie is at my number 10. But I overall found this movie very entertaining, and it did had a good conclusion to the Skywalker saga. So that is my number 10 movie of 2019. So we're gonna go to my number 9, and my number 9 movie of 2019 is Alita: Battle Angel. Alita: Battle Angel is the best anime live action adaptation I've seen, and we've had plenty of them in the past. We had the Ghost in the Shell live action. We had Bakuman. We had Bleach. We had um, my mind's going blank here. Shoot. We had some pretty decent live action adaptations, but this movie right here, this you can tell by the director and producer James Cameron and Robert Rodriguez that they really put their heart into this film. And when I first saw this film, I really felt like this. There were certain scenes in this film where I felt like this is definitely anime. And B man, shut the hell up, man. Get the fuck out of here, bro, with all that shit, man. But no, this movie, it had a lot of good elements from the manga. Cause after I saw this movie, I went to look for the manga, and I read up to volume 4 of the Battle Angel Alita manga, and it was really good. So um I really love the motorball scene, which is basically like this universe's soccer game, kind of. No, it's like a football game, a more violent football game. Shit, the shit really gets violent in the motorball scenes, and I really love it. And Rosa Salazar, who is playing as Alita, she is honestly awesome. And this movie really got unnecessary hate. I think people were overreacting about Alita's big eyes. Obviously they're trying to go for the more anime look, and I thought that was a good decision on the production team's part. I didn't feel like it was too much. For some people, they may have to adjust to it because it's something they never seen before. But I think after like 10, 20 minutes, you get used to seeing her big eyes. It wasn't an issue in the movie at all. And also the main villain in this movie who's played by Mahershala Ali, who you may know from the Luke Cage series as Cottonmouth. He was the main villain in this movie, and after seeing this movie a second time, I started to realize he is a good villain. But my first time watching it, it was like he didn't really have that villainous presence. So yeah, but all around, this movie is really awesome, and I really want to see a sequel in the future. So Disney and Fox, please make a sequel to Alita Battle Angel. I really want you to continue the series. It is really well deserved. But I don't know, we may not get it anytime soon. But Alita Battle Angel is my number 9 movie of 2019. So we're going to move on to number 8. And that number 8 movie of 2019 is Spider-Man Far From Home. Spider-Man Far From Home is my number 8 film of this year. And I have to say, I love Spider-Man. Spider-Man is my all-time favorite Marvel superhero. Obviously, he's like my number 2 favorite superhero ever. Batman is number 1 in my book. But this movie, there were some great moments in this movie. Wait, hold on. I just noticed B-Man's comment. He said I was overreacting on how bad she was and how I'm not giving her the screw in the light bulb. Shut up, man. But back to what I was saying. So, this movie, Far From Home, it's really entertaining. It's obviously better than Captain Marvel. Like the structure of the movie, it was well paced. I had no issues with the actors. Tom Holland, he once again did a great Peter Parker and Spider-Man performance. Zendaya as MJ, she's awesome. I love this new version of MJ though. I like this whole emo kind of depressed MJ. It's a good take on her. I like this version of her. Everything is good about this film, acting wise, but I think the story could have been better, and there was some moments like Peter's relationship with MJ. I felt like it was random. Now that I realize it was kind of random. I feel like Peter just had emotions for her and feelings for MJ out of the blue. They didn't really explain why that happened. And you said, Elite Legend said, in my opinion, Captain Marvel's only good part was the end credits. Oh my god, shut the hell up. But Far From Home, I love Mysterio. Mysterio is my favorite Spider-Man villain, and the special effects and CGI between him and Spider-Man, that was the popcorn scene there. But I feel like his whole plan, the entire movie, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know. I don't like how everything is all connected to Tony Stark. I'm just not a fan of that. I prefer him being just a visual effects artist and they just go about that. But yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home is a great film, but story mode was not story mode. The story was just lacking to me in some places. The action is still good though. But we're going to my number 7, and number 7 is Shazam. DC is doing really good with their movies. And I feel like from Wonder Woman to Aquaman and now Shazam, I think DC know what they're doing and their new approach to their property. Cause they've been doing a lot of dark films, which I think it worked to some extent, except for Batman v Superman. I felt like that movie was all over the place. Um, yeah, Shazam. I really love this movie, particularly because it was very funny, and the jokes they did land perfectly. I didn't had no issues with the jokes at all, and the actor who played as Shazam, Zachary Levi, he felt like a believable man-child superhero, and I really love the costume as well. The costume looked great on screen, and so the performance by the main villain, what's his name? Give me a second. Dr. Savannah. Dr. Savannah is actually a really good villain in this film. They gave him a really good backstory, and I really felt for this character. Doctor Savannah is he's up there as my favorite DCU villain so far. Um, the action scenes they were good, and let's see, and also this movie really got me excited for the next sequel, and also that Black Adam movie that's supposed to be played by Dwayne the Rock Johnson. So hopefully he does a good job. I think he has that Black Adam look. So I'm pretty excited for that. But when I was watching this movie, I did feel a little confused about the whole plot behind how to become Shazam, because in the movie, the wizard that transferred the power to um what's his name, Barry Baxton, yeah, uh Billy Batson, sorry, Billy Batson. It just it kind of confused me, but after taking a second thought, it made sense to me. So it was I still think it was a really cool backstory behind Shazam, very close to the comics too. So yeah, Shazam is awesome. Which number is that? Sorry, I lost track of the number. Uh, number 7, right. So yeah, Shazam is my number 7 movie of 2019. If you haven't seen Shazam, if you're not a DC fan, I would still consider checking out Shazam out. It's a good superhero film. But yeah, let's move on to my number 6 film. And that number 6 film is Avengers Endgame. Now, don't go in the chat box and complain and start spazzing out because I have this movie at number 6, okay? I like Endgame a lot. And I really like the structure of this film. The pacing was very well balanced. The acting by Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Brie Larson, Chris Hemsworth, everybody else, they did great. They did amazing. The Russo brothers, they introduced time travel. Oh, even look, like I said, there's other good movies on this list that I feel like is better than Endgame. All right, just chill, okay? Like I said, the movie is good, okay? The time travel idea that they introduced in the film, um, it kind of didn't make sense to me, and time travel is kind of iffy in these kinds of movies. Cause I'm going to go in a little spoiler into the movie to anyone who hasn't seen it. So I mean, look, I'm just going to just one small spoiler scene. So my whole thing is there was a scene where Nebula, she killed her I think it was 2014, yeah, she killed her 2014 version in the movie, and I'm expecting Nebula to like disappear because she killed her past self, but it didn't happen. But it took me I think towards the end of the film to realize that this movie, everything that happened takes place in like a parallel universe of that same event. But um, other than that, I really did enjoy this movie, and with the acting by what's his name, Josh Brolin as Thanos, he is he is the best villain in the MCU. He did a great job. The humor is your typical MCU Disney humor. I didn't have any issues with it at all. I thought it was pretty good. But I'm really excited to see the future of the MCU. I don't know if I will check out the Disney shows at this moment. I don't have the money at the moment, but it probably eventually I'll check them out. What you saying? For games? What you saying that for, man? What I do? But yeah, um, but here's the thing though. I think Avengers is up there on my list as the best, as one of the best Marvel movies. You said we got a guy with an opinion, but I still prefer Infinity War as my favorite MCU movie because they went all in that movie. There were a lot of great moments that I feel like that I will always remember. But yeah, Avengers Endgame is number 6, I believe. Yeah, number 6. So so we're almost to my number 1, guys. So here we go. So here we go. My number 5 movie of 2019 is Brightburn. Brightburn is surprisingly an amazing film that has nothing to do with the Superman lore or DC universe at all. This is not part of Warner Brothers DC lineup. This was developed by, well, produced by Sony and what's his name, James Gunn, who is the director of Guardians of the Galaxy. And basically, if you don't know what Brightburn is, it's a what if story of an alien who not a what if story of an alien, but a what if story of Superman. What if a kid landed on Earth and became evil instead of an alien fighting for justice. Now this film, it's a horror film. It's not your typical action flick. It's a horror film. And this movie had really great death scenes that were very unique that I haven't seen in a horror film before. And I was very surprised. And there were moments where I cringed. I was like, "Oh God, no! Oh jeez!" In a good way. This this movie had me on the edge of my seat. I was literally waiting to see what was going to happen next, and I was very pleased. Um, don't expect anything happy happening in this film. Like it's very dark, and I know that's funny hearing it from me. And even though it's this idea is inspired by a DC hero, but this movie is really dark for in a good way for its own good reasons. But if you're into the whole the slasher films like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, I think you will have a good time seeing this movie. So whenever you guys have time, definitely check out Brightburn. And also the actor who played as this kid, this kid's name is Brandon Byers, not Clark Kent. Brandon Byers. His costume, I actually was digging it. All it is like a red blanket and a custom made mask and his everyday outfit. I thought it looked pretty cool for the film. But yeah, Brightburn is definitely a good film. I'm very pleased with this film. It's really awesome. So we're almost there to our number 1 list, guys. So my number 4 film would be X-Men Dark Phoenix. My number 4 is X-Men Dark Phoenix, and I love the X-Men movies. made by Fox. Minus what is it? X-Men 3: The Last Stand. Yeah. When I was younger, I loved X-Men 3: The Last Stand. But as you get older, it a lot of things start to noticing the problems with the films. But this movie I was very pleased with. The performance by James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender, they were good. My issue with this film is how the characters age in this film. Like Professor X and Magneto, they don't really seem to age at all in this film. They still look the same from, was it X-Men Apocalypse was the last movie? Yeah, they didn't really seem to age well at all. Does this movie stand up to the X-Men name? I want to see. Yeah. No, this movie is good. Like it does stand up to the other X-Men films. My other issue with this film is the main villains. Because in this movie they have these aliens that's trying to go after Jean Grey's newly powers and use it for their own gain. I didn't. They really felt two-dimensional to me. They didn't feel like aliens with a purpose. They were just there for plot conveniences. But my overall experience with this film was I was very happy with it. Though those issues that I mentioned, they didn't stop me from enjoying it. I still feel like this was a really good film, and if I were to review this, if I were to review it when it first came out, it would probably be a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I think it would be around that range. But yeah, X-Men Dark Phoenix. If you love Fox's Marvel movies, definitely give this movie a try. So here it is, guys. Here it is. We are at our my number 3 movie of 2019, and that is Us, directed by Jordan Peele. Jordan Peele is my favorite director and writer at this moment because if I were to go into Hollywood right now, Us and Get Out would be the movies that I would make just from my personal experiences and my nightmares and stuff. I feel like these are stuff that Jordan Peele probably had going through his mind growing up or something, but Us was a very well written and directed film. I really love Lupita Nyong'o's performance in this movie. Very very good. The What else did I like about this film? The soundtrack is top notch. I would say is actually better than the Get Out soundtrack, but I really love the soundtrack. I really did. But this was a really great improvement from Get Out, and what I love about this movie is the message. The message that I got from this film was fighting against your own inner demons. Because basically in this movie you're fighting against these clones or these yeah, there's like these clones of yourself where they're like in like a negative world. Think of Stranger Things, the Upside Down. Think of that. So these they call themselves tethers. These tethers, they want to experience what their other versions are experiencing in the real world. So what you have to do is fight off against your tethers in order to survive. And I love that message that Jordan Peele made, which is fighting against your own inner demons. I think we all, as humans, we can actually relate to that because we all go through lives and we have these inner demons that we're still facing today that we need to get rid of. And yeah, this movie was very mind blowing and thought provoking. I think you probably could think of another message behind this film or a theme because yeah, there's many different themes that you can come across when watching this movie. But yeah, no, number three is Us, and now we're going to my number two, and that is Dragon Ball Super Broly. Dragon Ball Super Broly is a movie that us Dragon Ball fans needed. From start to finish, it was very, very good. It stick to the lore and also adding new information to the franchise. We finally get a first look at Gine in anime. The movie took some ideas from the Dragon Ball Minus manga and added to the movie. And Bardock and Gine, they were very believable parents. They want to do what's best for their child, and I think any parent can relate to that. But himself, you can really get behind Broly's character. Compared to the original trilogy, there was nothing going on for Broly. He was just a two-dimensional character that just shut the hell up, B man. um, cause in the original trilogy, all he did was yell and he just looked like a big bulky Saiyan. That's all he was. But in this movie, you can feel for Broly. He grew up with his father. He was exiled from the Saiyan race and sent out to this uninhabited planet, and he grew up not really knowing a lot from um about society and stuff. And seeing the battles between Broly and Goku and Vegeta, it it was just eye candy. It was beautiful. I think Dragon Ball Super Broly has one of the best animations we've ever seen in the series so far. Cause this animation reminded me of both um, old and modern anime style. That's the impression I got from the animation, but it's really awesome. I know when I reviewed this movie, I gave this movie a 10 out of 10, and I still stay behind this. I still behind my opinion on giving this movie a 10 out of 10. And B Man said Broly looked like a nigger from Boondocks that asked about a strawberry milk the whole episode. Shut the hell up. and and I remember when this movie first came out. Um, this was actually the first Broly movie, not Broly movie, but this was the first anime movie that I've seen in theaters. I went and saw this movie with my brother. We already decided when this movie was announced, we were going to go see this movie day one, and we did, and we loved this movie. Um, yeah, Broly, he's my favorite. He's like my second favorite character in the entire series. I really love this character, and what Akira Toriyama did with Broly, I think is a big improvement from the original trilogy, and I'm very happy what we got from this. Thank you, Akira Toriyama. You made me very happy, and wow, I love what you did with this movie. So in the chat real quick, let's have a drum roll. Just type in drum roll in the chat real quick. I'm about to give you guys my number one movie. So everyone type drum roll in the chat real quick. I'll just make my own drum roll, and then we're gonna explain it. There we go. just spam drum roll. Spam it. Copy and paste. But they won't give me Super Bardock though. Yeah, I can't wait to see more Bardock in the future. All right, we're just gonna go to my number one. So my number one movie of 2019. Yo said Drumline. Bitches ain't Nick Cannon. What you talking about? Wrong shit, nigga. What are you talking about? Drumline. Get the fuck out of here. Alright. That's enough. That's enough. Alright, that's enough drum rolls. Okay. Spamming my fucking shit. Alright, so my number one movie of 2019 would have to be Joker. Joker is isn't is just a masterpiece. And I don't really call movies masterpieces a lot. Dilly dilly do. Shut up. Joker is a very realistic take on the iconic villain that we know and love. And this movie is better as a standalone movie than being part of the DCEU. Um, I think when I think of Joker, I kind of think of Death Note, just how realistic, a realistic take on a person that feels like society is at their all-time low, and they feel like they have to be the person to change the way society is. And Joaquin Phoenix is a really great actor, and he really did a great performance as this iconic villain. And this movie, directed by Todd Phillips, you will really feel for this character. Even, I know it's odd feeling for a character that's very psychotic and that doesn't think like the normal human being, but this movie does great at seeing the progression of being um just being a sad lonely guy to a maniac, a psychotic maniac. I think you all should really check this movie out. And all that little controversy that happened before this movie came out, it's utter nonsense. It's just the media trying to get clicks from people. This movie isn't causing any damage to people. Like, it's not going to provoke someone to go out and shoot schools or do anything like that. It's just people just making some utter nonsense. That's what I think. But would I like to see a sequel from Joker? Yes and no. I don't really have a definitive answer, but I would say if it gives um more backstory to Arthur Fleck's Joker, then yeah, I'm all up for it. But if it's just a sequel with no good reasoning behind the story, then I don't want it at all. But Joker is a movie that you all should definitely check out if you haven't seen it already. And I'm actually glad it's getting a lot of nominations. It is well deserved. Let me see. Do I have any more to say about this movie before I end the stream? Let me see. No, I think that's pretty much it. But yeah, that is my top 10 movies of 2019. I think I may do this kind of method more with my top 10 list. I think it'll be easier for me to do a live stream rather than making a edited video version of this. So next year, hopefully we'll get better, or at least a good amount of excuse me, a better amount of good movies in the next year coming. So I'm really excited for 2020's movies. I think I may do another live stream talking about my most anticipated movies of 2020. How do you guys feel about that? Do you think I should do it? Because I really want to do that type of movie. Because I do have a small list of movies I want to see next year. Hopefully they'll be good. But yeah, that's it for the stream, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. This is Caligo45, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and also check out Future Prospects. That is our group channel that me, Games, B-Man the Killer, Aunt G's, all of us, we're all part of that group. And on that channel, we do podcasts. In the future, we're going to do more funny moments, gaming news. We're trying to make that channel grow. So if you're interested in that, check out our Future Prospects YouTube channel. I'll post a link to that in the stream after I'm done. But thank you all once again for tuning in, and I will see you guys in 2020. Hopefully we'll have some great movies this year. Yeah, suck your dry sandpaper. Okay, shut up, B-Man. All right, thank you everyone for watching the stream. I'll see you guys next year. Peace.